The gloves are off in the war between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, co-stars in the recent film It Ends With Us, who each accuse each other of harassment and retaliation. Lively's team has just filed an amended complaint, not only clarifying certain issues she brought up in her first filing, but now apparently revealing shocking new messages, behind-the-scenes stories, and the impact this whole legal battle has had on her career. We're digging into this full complaint with you right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, it is a dramatic new twist in the ongoing feud between It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Lively's attorneys have filed a new bombshell amended complaint revealing fresh allegations of...
The gloves are off in the heated feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, co-stars in the controversial film It Ends With Us. The tension has escalated with accusations flying from both sides, Blake Lively's team now revealing bombshell. Allegations of harassment, retaliation, and a campaign to discredit her. What's more, Lively's legal team just filed an amended complaint that contains shocking new revelations about the toxic environment on set. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm your host, Jesse Weber, and today, we're diving into these new claims.
On-set misconduct, a retaliatory campaign aimed at discrediting her, key witnesses now, according to Lively, willing to testify against Baldoni and his team. This 137-page filing expands on her claims of harassment and now includes new players added to the case. It just intensifies the drama surrounding this very troubled production. If we look at this in totality, and we're going to break down this full complaint for you so you don't have to do it yourself, I would say the big themes are new responses, new claims, and potentially new corroborating evidence. Let me get into it. Now, if you haven't been following what's been going on here surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, just buckle up for a second. This all kicked off on December 20th when Blake Lively filed her civil rights complaint with the California...
Including a look at the career fallout for Lively and her shocking accusations against Baldoni and his team. Stick around as we break down this tangled web. Picture this. It's early 2023, the set of It Ends With Us, a film adaptation of the best-selling novel starring Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The movie is supposed to be a hit, a romantic drama that draws millions of viewers, yet behind the scenes, things have spiraled into chaos. The film's director, Justin Baldoni, is known for his advocacy of male feminism, his emphasis on respect and gender equality. But as Blake Lively's team...
her co-star and director of It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni, of serious misconduct, including sexual harassment, creating a hostile work environment, and other boundary violations. And Lively claims that when she raised these concerns, she faced retaliation and a smear campaign designed to damage her career. And of course, she didn't just go after Baldoni. She also named his production company, Wayfarer Studios, along with the CEO, Jamie Heath, Baldoni's former publicist, Jennifer Abel, his crisis manager, Melissa Nathan. And the very next day, the New York Times joined the fray because they dropped a bombshell article titled, "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine," which revealed text messages that Lively's team claims they got through a subpoena that apparently shows how deep this alleged smear campaign against her really ran. Baldoni, though, he fought back. He struck back in more ways than ever. On New Year's Eve, he fired back against the New York Times, filing a $250 million defamation
claims. The reality on set couldn't be further from those ideals. And in this legal battle, it's not just Lively and Baldoni at the center of the storm. Joining us today is Tasha Green, a veteran actress who worked closely with Lively on the film. Tasha was on set every day and witnessed firsthand the escalating tension between Lively and Baldoni. "I remember thinking something's off," Tasha says in an exclusive interview. "It was subtle at first, just little comments, little things. But soon it became impossible to ignore. Blake kept trying to brush it off, but it was clear she was under pressure." But Tasha isn't the only one with a perspective on the set dynamics. Ava Grant
lawsuit against the outlet and accusing them of publishing a misleading report with cherry-picked messages that only supported Lively's version of events. In his filing, Baldoni claimed that Lively's team was actually behind a smear campaign against him by weaponizing her claims to destroy his reputation and career. And he took a whole step further when on January 16th, he countersued Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, along with Lively's publicist Leslie Sloan, accusing them of orchestrating a campaign and also claiming that Lively hijacked his film in a bid to control his narrative. Hey, quick sidebar from Sidebar for a second. So there are recent allegations against the multi-billion-dollar video game industry, and they claim that video games are engineered for addiction. Yeah, these claims include trying to make sense of the hold that video games seem to have over people where they just can't put the controller down. Every win triggers a hit of dopamine that creates a cycle of compulsion that disrupts daily life and harms mental health. But our legal sponsor,
a crew member who worked as a production assistant, recalls hearing whispered conversations between Baldoni and his PR team. There were moments when Justin would disappear into his trailer for hours, and you could hear heated voices coming from inside. It didn't seem like just the stress of filming. It was something else. Fast forward to December 2023. Blake. Lively files a civil rights complaint against Baldoni, accusing him of harassment and misconduct. According to the complaint, Lively was not only subjected to uncomfortable personal boundaries crossed on set, but also became the target of a well-orchestrated smear campaign designed to ruin her reputation. The complaint reveals specific incidents
are taking on this industry that has at many times allegedly put profit over safety, and they're working to potentially get compensation for all of those impacted. So if you or a loved one have suffered physical or mental health issues due to video games, then visit vgclaims.com/sidebar to answer less than 10 questions and check your eligibility to file a claim. So now you fast forward to the end of January, and Baldoni's team took their claims even further and launched a website dedicated to this legal fight. That website, lawsuitinfo.com, includes documents related to his lawsuit, including an amended complaint, a timeline of events, according to him, dating back to 2019, related to the making of It Ends With Us. Again, never before seen messages were published. But of course, this only added more fuel to the fire. Her team ended up going to the court. There was even a suggestion about maybe a protective order needed to be put in place, specifically referring to Brian Friedman, Baldoni's lawyer. There was an accusation that he might be violating the rules of professional conduct here by making statements outside that could...
Where Lively was allegedly cornered by Baldoni in private spaces, with her personal space and professional boundaries repeatedly violated. But here's where the plot thickens. New revelations have surfaced in the amended complaint filed by Lively's legal team, expanding the scope of the allegations. It turns out Lively's accusations of retaliation didn't just stop at Baldoni. She claims the crisis management firm Horizon PR, led by Jed Wallace, played an active role in spinning the narrative against her. According to Lively's legal team, Wallace and his firm helped orchestrate a smear campaign to paint Lively as difficult,
Now, the two
combative,
sides ended up meeting in court for the first time on February 3rd for a pretrial hearing, and basically in the end, the judge said, don't make any comments either side that could affect this case in a negative way, that could prejudice this case, that could ultimately taint a future jury. Just be careful. Now, lawyers for Blake Lively have just submitted an amended complaint. That is what we're going to break down for you. Again, over 130 pages long. Now, one of the first things that we noticed about this lawsuit is that it adds more defendants.
and unprofessional, a claim that, if true, would mark an egregious abuse of power in Hollywood. Jed Wallace, who has represented A-list celebrities and managed crises for high-profile clients, denied the allegations in a statement to the press. He said, "These accusations are completely fabricated. There was no campaign to discredit anyone. My job was simply to manage the media narrative, as I always do." However, documents in Lively's amended complaint suggest otherwise. Lena Roberts, a former journalist who covered celebrity news, weighed in on the growing allegations.
Saga. You can check out
In
those
my
episodes on
experience,
Long
it's not
Crimes' YouTube
uncommon
channel,
for
but
PR
basically,
firms.
Lively claims that Wallace was involved in the social media campaign to paint her in a bad light following the premiere of It Ends With Us. Now, here's what happened. Lively had originally named him in her complaint with the California Civil Rights Department, which is a precursor to filing a lawsuit. But when she did file her official complaint in federal court, Wallace wasn't named as a defendant. And that's when he ended up filing his own lawsuit against her, saying, Lively name-dropping me ruined my reputation and ruined my company's reputation. But now he has officially been named in this amended complaint. He is the defendant in this action. And actually, by the way, it's interesting because Lively now claims that in this amended complaint, this is new information, that she tried to depose Wallace, but according to her, he allegedly evaded and obstructed her efforts to do so, and then she accuses his lawyers of misrepresenting what happened too. You probably could dedicate a whole sidebar episode to that. Maybe actually we will, but anyway. Also
to play a role in managing scandals, but this seems different. What Blake is describing, if proven true, goes well beyond simple media management. This is calculated manipulation. As the legal drama intensifies, more people are coming forward to back up Lively's claims. Kara Sullivan, an assistant director who worked alongside Baldoni, says, "When Blake started speaking out, everyone was afraid to back her up. Justin had too much influence, and when we saw the smear campaign start, it was like we were all watching a train wreck in slow motion." But it's not just the people on set who are talking.
Baldoni's, there seems to be maybe less text messages to document certain conversations, but she's still alleging it nonetheless. And with that in mind, let's dig into this complaint. So, Lively starts off by pointing out that the efforts that Baldoni has made in recent years to present himself as a supporter of feminist causes maybe doesn't add up. And I want to read you through a portion of the first few pages because it kind of gives you a good idea of what exactly Lively is accusing Baldoni of doing.
Oliver Hayes, a respected film critic, has weighed in on the broader impact of these revelations. If this case proves what Lively's team is alleging, it could shake Hollywood to its core. For years, we've seen stars with power control the narrative, but this could change that. Oliver argues that the public trust in the entertainment industry is at a tipping point. It's no longer just about who the star is, it's about how they treat those around them. The allegations against Baldoni paint him as a hypocrite, using his image as a nice guy.
At multiple points in this complaint, Lively talks about other female cast members who are apparently uncomfortable with Baldoni's alleged actions on set. And that is key. Something that was alleged in the first complaint, but really expanded upon here. In other words, it's not just Lively who is prepared to speak out and accuse and possibly testify against Baldoni, but possibly others.
The gloves are off in the heated feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, co-stars in the controversial film It Ends With Us. The tension has escalated with accusations flying from both sides. Blake Lively's team now revealing Bombshell, allegations of harassment, retaliation, and a campaign to discredit her. What's more, Lively's legal team just filed an amended complaint that contains shocking new revelations about the toxic environment on set. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm your host, Jesse Weber, and today we're diving into these new claims, including a look at the career fallout for Lively.
So the complaint highlighted messages that Lively apparently shared with other women with whom she commiserated about the alleged toxic set not long after filming reportedly got underway. For example, it reads,
and her shocking accusations against Baldoni and his team. Stick around as we break down this tangled web. Picture this. It's early 2023, the set of It Ends With Us, a film adaptation of the best-selling novel starring Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The movie is supposed to be a hit, a romantic drama that draws millions of viewers. Yet behind the scenes, things have spiraled into chaos. The film's director, Justin Baldoni, is known for his advocacy of male feminism, his emphasis on respect and gender equality. But as Blake Lively's team claims, the reality on set couldn't be further from those ideals. And in this legal battle, it's not just Lively and Baldoni at the center of the storm. Joining us today is Tasha Green, a veteran.
Now, this is critical to Lively's claim, the idea that she wasn't the only person on the set feeling uncomfortable or that she was being targeted, that other actresses or other people said that they had some of the same issues.
Actress who worked closely with Lively on the film. Tasha was on set every day and witnessed firsthand the escalating tension between Lively and Baldoni. I remember thinking something's off, Tasha says in an exclusive interview. It was subtle at first, just little comments, little things. But soon it became impossible to ignore. Blake kept trying to brush it off, but it was clear she was under pressure. But Tasha isn't the only one with a perspective on the set dynamics. Ava Grant, a crew member who worked as a production assistant, recalls hearing whispered conversations between...
Again, big new accusations in this complaint. Now, I also said that this amended complaint is about responses, and I think we're going to probably do this more in a future sidebar episode, but Lively responds many times to Baldoni's explanations, his defenses. For example, do you remember when she says that Baldoni and Heath would invade her space, that they would come into her trailer unannounced, right? And he came forward and said, look, that's not true. She invited me while she was breastfeeding, right? Well, she responds to that in this complaint. Here's an example.
In Baldoni and his PR team. There were moments when Justin would disappear into his trailer for hours, and you could hear heated voices coming from inside. It didn't seem like just the stress of filming. It was something else. Lena Roberts, a respected film critic and former journalist who covered celebrity news, has weighed in on the growing allegations. In my experience, it's not uncommon for PR firms to play a role in managing scandals. But this seems different. What Blake is describing, if proven true, goes well beyond simple media management. This is calculated manipulation. But it doesn't stop there. We're now hearing from Sophia Cross, a Hollywood manager who represents A